You're better at this kind of thing, Micah. I just get in the way and mess everything up. Hi everyone, my name is Micah, and that's what my sister said before disappearing on a year-long business trip, leaving our dying mother in my hands like I was the family nurse. Mom had stage 4 cancer. Pain was her shadow. Nausea, confusion, silence. I didn't know what I was doing, but I showed up day after day. I fed her, cleaned her, learned to change 4 bags from YouTube videos and instinct. Shannon never called, never sent money, just posted smiling selfies from London and Lisbon and cafes I couldn't pronounce. And Mom, she just faded a little more each day. Then one night, she gripped my wrist tighter than she had in months. Her voice was a rasp, barely louder than the breeze. "Micah, go to the village house, kitchen, under the potato box. Dig." I didn't ask questions, just nodded. She died the next morning. I left the day after. The old house groaned with time. I found the kitchen, the box of sprouting potatoes, pushed it aside and dug with my bare hands. My nails scraped metal, a rusted tin box. Inside, a photo. Shannon, age 10, holding Dad's hunting knife, blood everywhere, grinning. I dropped the photo like it burned. It landed face up on the dirt, that eerie smile still staring back at me. Shannon was 10, maybe 11. The blood on her shirt was real, wet, dark, smeared across her arms like finger paint. And in the background, half blurred by motion, was a man lying face down in the grass. I didn't need to see his face to know who it was. It was our dad. Except that couldn't be. He died in a boating accident when I was 13. They said his body was never recovered. Shannon and Mom had been at the lake that day. I was away at baseball camp. I remember Mom hugging us tight when I got home. I remember Shannon crying into my shoulder. That was the day everything changed. Now this photo was telling me a different story. I checked the tin again. Under the photo was something else, a small rusted key. It had a faded red tag still tied to it with string. One word written in smudged black ink. I looked out the kitchen window. The shed was still there, still padlocked. I pocketed the key, walked out back, and heard a sound from inside, a soft knock. I froze mid-step. The sound came again. Knock, knock, knock. Slow and steady, like someone tapping from the inside. My heart tried to claw its way out of my chest. I hadn't even put the key in the lock yet. The shed was falling apart, but that padlock still solid, still rusted shut. The windows were so caked with grime you couldn't see through them. I forced my hand to move, slipped the key in. It turned. The lock dropped into my palm like it had been waiting. I pulled the door open slowly. The hinges groaned loud enough to wake the dead. The smell hit me first. Mold, rot, and something sharp beneath it, metallic like rust or dried blood. Inside, hunched in the corner, was a figure. At first, I thought it was a corpse, thin, bearded, barely breathing. Then he lifted his head. My legs buckled. "Micah," he rasped. My voice broke. "Dad?" He tried to nod, eyes sunken, lips cracked. His wrists were chained to the wall. I stumbled toward him. His skin was cold, and carved into the wood beside him, over and over in jagged scratches, were 3 words. Shannon did this. I stared at the words, dozens of them. Shannon did this, scratched deep into the wall, layered over each other like he was trying to make the truth permanent. Dad's eyes rolled back as I reached for him. His body trembled from dehydration, malnutrition. God knows how long he'd been in here. 15 years. I found a dusty jug of water in the corner, cracked but clean enough. I dripped it into his mouth slowly until he stopped choking. His voice came back in pieces. "She said I hurt her," he whispered. "Said I was dangerous, that I touched her." I froze. "I didn't, Micah. I never did. I would never." His throat tightened. "But your mother, she believed her." I knelt beside him, mind spinning. They locked him here together for years. No funeral, no questions, just a lie wrapped in grief and silence. Why? Why didn't Mom ever say anything? She tried, he whispered. Near the end. I think she wanted you to know. That's why she sent you here. She couldn't carry it anymore. I helped him to his feet, barely. His wrists bled from the rusted cuffs. As I wrapped them in my jacket, I heard tires crunching the gravel outside. A car. Shannon was here. I peeked through the broken slats of the shed. Her car, same silver Lexus she used to flaunt in Instagram selfies. It pulled into the driveway like this was a family visit and not the aftermath of a horror movie. Shannon stepped out, sunglasses on, iced coffee in hand. No urgency, no guilt. I helped Dad lie back down, told him not to move, and closed the shed door behind me. I couldn't let her see him yet, not until I knew what kind of monster I was really dealing with. "Micah," she called out, arms wide like nothing was wrong. "I saw your car. Figured I'd stop by and check in." "Check in?" I swallowed the rage crawling up my throat. "I was just going through some of Mom's old stuff," I said carefully, walking towards her. She smiled. "You look awful." "Thanks." She stepped closer, eyes scanning my face. "You went into the kitchen, didn't you?" I didn't answer. Her smile faded. "Did you find the tin?" Still, I said nothing. That's when her hand slid into her coat pocket, and I realized she hadn't come to talk. She came to clean up the last loose end. Me. I didn't move. Neither did she. Her hand stayed buried in her coat pocket, fingers twitching. She hadn't blinked once. "Where is he?" she asked, her voice suddenly flat. "You tell me. Or should I say, who was it that we buried? Because it sure as hell wasn't Dad." Her jaw clenched. "You saw him," she muttered. "I did more than see him. I gave him water. I unchained him." Shannon flinched like I'd slapped her. She stepped forward. "Micah, you don't understand what he did, what he was." "No," I said, my voice shaking. "I don't, but I think I'm about to." Her face changed then. Mask off, all softness gone. "He hurt me," she hissed. "I told Mom, and she didn't believe me at first. So I showed her. I made her see that photo," I said. She smiled faintly. She needed proof, so I gave it to her. He didn't die like I planned, but she did the rest. My blood ran cold. "You were 10, Shannon." "I was awake, Micah. While you were off playing baseball, I was surviving." Then she pulled the gun from her pocket. "I won't let you undo everything." She raised it, and someone shouted, "Drop it." 2 officers, guns drawn, voices firm. "Drop the weapon, hands where we can see them." Shannon froze. Her mask cracked again, this time into panic, but only for a second. She slowly lowered the gun and placed it on the gravel, like she'd done this before. She didn't look at me. I didn't move. I'd called them 30 minutes earlier from the car, after pulling Dad out of the shed and into the back seat, wrapping him in blankets. Told them everything. Not the full truth, just enough to get them here. Shannon stood, hands in the air. "Come, pull control." They cuffed her gently, like they were arresting a rich woman for unpaid parking tickets. "You have the right to remain silent." She looked at me finally, eyes empty. "I did what I had to do." "No," I said, stepping forward. "You did what you wanted to do, and Mom helped you because she thought she was protecting you, but in the end, she was hiding you from the world." One officer turned to me. "We'll need you to come to the station. Your father, too." I nodded. Shannon just smiled as they led her away. "Told you I'd always be the favorite." The police took our statements separately. Dad could barely speak, but what he managed was enough. The scars on his wrists did the rest. The shed, the chain bolts, and the concrete. The photo, the knife. The officers didn't ask why no one ever came looking. They didn't have to. The silence around trauma has a way of explaining itself. Shannon's lawyers tried to spin it. Childhood trauma, delusions, misremembered abuse. But the truth was carved on that shed wall, scrawled over years of torment. Shannon did this, again and again.
Mom had kept the secret until her guilt began to rot. Her final act was sending me to that kitchen, to the box, to the buried truth she couldn't carry anymore. Shannon pled not guilty, but the evidence sang. The jury didn't take long. Attempted murder, kidnapping, concealment of a crime. 15 years of silence unraveled in a single courtroom. Dad's recovering now, still frail but healing slowly. We sit on the porch some nights, say nothing. Sometimes that's all healing really is. As for me, I still hear her voice sometimes. You're better at this kind of thing, Micah. Maybe I was. Maybe I had to be.